You have no idea the amount of ignorance we're about to get into right now.
Hello and welcome to a brand new episode of Black on Black Cinema. I'm your host, Jay. I'm here with my co-host, Micah.
Hey.
Terrence is out this week, but this is episode 142, Mo Better Blues. This is the 1990 Spike Lee film starring Denzel Washington and Spike Lee. And I would argue your favorite actors who've been in other Spike Lee movies. Like it's everybody. Like it's Bugging Out, Radio Raheem. Like everybody is in this movie.
He has his players.
Yeah, Flipper Purify. Like he was like this is my greatest hits. Like this is the Hall of Fame movie. It is about a jazz musician who makes interesting decisions that affect his life both musically and relationship wise. For some reason, Micah and I had not seen this movie, which is weird because this is like one of maybe two Spike Lee movies I haven't seen, which is kind of weird. What did you think of this movie?
I enjoyed it. I enjoy the movie a lot, actually. The music is wonderful, right? But the movie isn't about the music. The movie isn't about jazz, right? Like, if you think about it, the movie is about Denzel Washington's character being so consumed with his work, in this case being a musician, that everything else is just kind of like he doesn't give a fuck about anything else, right?
Right. The plight of the artist.
Right. And it is, and it's great, right? Like, and it ends opposite of what you think it should end like, right?
Yeah.
In terms of the plot of the artist's story arc.
Right.
And I appreciate the film for that. The fact that this film has a jazz backdrop is just fucking mwah for me. I love it. I enjoy a little bit of jazz. I'm not a connoisseur or anything like that, but
yeah, I'm the same way.
I'll just go to a club and listen to, people freestyle on brass instruments, because that's what jazz is, right?
Experimental jazz is some of the worst music I've ever heard, though. I will say that. Like when there's just like when it's just like, wah, 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 or like, all right, like we're doing too much. But I love jazz as a core music.
So I enjoyed this movie, man. Is this the movie that made Denzel the sex symbol?
I don't know that it's the movie that made him the sex symbol, but this one, like watching this with my wife, this one kind of solidified it. She was like, wow, I really forgot. Like, she really kind of forgot, like, what Denzel was like in the early 90s. Because, like, I mean, looking at movies now, like, Roman J. Israel, like, come on, man. Like, what have they done to my man Denzel? God damn. But, like, Fences and things like that, where these are these really great character-digging pieces of Denzel as an older man. But, yeah, you kind of forget, like, he was the coolest motherfucker on the planet at this point.
Man.
Like, he was.
Like, Samoa has a very famous joke about sucking Denzel Washington's dick, right? Like, and
everybody, every woman in the fucking tri-state area, wherever he was, was all about it.
Right. And, his film before this was Glory.
Yeah.
And for him to go from Glory to, like, just like this, white people loved him then. And black people were like, all right, yeah, we ride for you, bro. But then all of a sudden, going from that to this, where it's like, oh, I make my living with my lips and just all this sexual shit. Like, all right, bro, all right.
Yeah, it is kind of funny because, I'm trying to look at his filmography to find out what was right around here. But Glory. I'm trying to. Yeah, I guess this was the movie that kind of made him. The Mighty Quinn, which I want to do on the show, which I love, by the way, is before this. Yeah, I think probably, Mo Better Blues is the one that he becomes a sex symbol. Yeah, I think that's true. Because then he does Mississippi Masala after that, Ricochet, Malcolm X. Yeah, like he's like in the early 90s, Denzel Washington was in his fucking bag. Ricochet, Malcolm X, Pelican Brief, Philadelphia, Crimson Tide, Virtuality. Devil in the Blue Dress, which I mistakenly, there's a scene I was trying to tell you about, but I think it's in The Devil in the Blue Dress, not in this movie. But yeah, he was in his fucking bag in the early 90s. So yeah, no, that's the movie.
Yeah, man.
This is where he converts over to being like, oh, that guy's a good actor too. Oh, that's a Denzel Washington movie. Yeah, like I think that's where it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, look, I really enjoyed this. I thought it was great. It is Spike Lee, like I've said on the show before. By the way, this is a review of the movie for those who, for some reason, again, after 142 episodes, still think this is where you watch Mo Better Blues. It is not. Turn it off if you don't want to watch the review. It's an in-depth review.
No, leave it on and walk away.
Yeah, it's true. That helps us monetarily. Thank you. But somebody did, by the way. Someone was like, I started watching this because I thought this was the movie for another episode. And then they were like, and then I was like, still watching it. You guys are really good. I really like this show. And I was like, awesome. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, I appreciate that. It was one of the better comments on YouTube that we get. But so I've often said in the past that Spike Lee, in my opinion, has two types of movies where he really truly nails it, right? The Inside Man being a weird third kind of set.
Yeah, that's a weird commercial film for him.
Yeah, which I enjoyed, by the way. I just watched that recently, a couple months ago. But he has two types of films. It's, let me tell you why we are oppressed and why people ain't shit movie, right? They do the right thing and, and other films like that. Then there is, I love black people. Like, I love my people. I love Brooklyn movies, right? Crooklyn. And this falls into that category. And it falls so solidly into that category that I am almost positive there are scenes that were shot in the exact same house in Crooklyn and in this movie, right? Because he loves Brooklyn so much. Right, and this movie is so New York centric, and like when he is in that world, like he is firing at all cylinders.
Yeah,
like She's Gotta Have It is another one, right? Which is why I think the series does such, because he's matured, right? But the series has done so well and looked so good because it was like he was just in his fucking zone, right? Yeah. He just was. So yeah, I thought this was really great. I thought Denzel Washington was really great. I put Spike Lee's acting in the same category I put Jerry Seinfeld's acting on Seinfeld. He's not acting, and he's barely trying not to laugh in every single scene. Yeah. It's really obvious and really funny.
I mean, it's hysterical how bad it is. Like, I mean, it's fine, but you're acting against Denzel Washington.
Yeah, it becomes very, very apparent.
Come on, man.
I'm
not gonna sell it. All right.
Please stop, yo.
Just shut up, yo.
Go sit down. Just go sit down. But Spike Lee is fine. But again, he's not acting. Like he's trying to act, but he's not really acting.
Right. He's acting about as well as these kids in the beginning.
Oh, they're horrible. They're horrible. But ironically, in the end, it's more natural because they're not playing an older, like a younger generation of themselves. Like it's kind of weird. But yeah, I thought it was really good. I think the plight of the artist is a really interesting take that you don't see a lot in black movies. It's like a movie like this done by any other black director, I feel like would be much more hard focused on his relationships with the women or his relationship with his band, but not showing the fact that the reason why that relationships are so shitty is because he cares about the music so much.
Yeah.
Right. And Spike, I think because Spike is a true artist, I think he really gets that. And it feels like he's kind of telling a story about himself in a way. Mm-hmm. Right? Like, I don't know a lot about Spike Lee's personal life. I'm not going to pretend to, but he feels like a guy who, for better or for worse, often shuts out the world to make his art. And then he kind of comes out of the cocoon, like, and this is the thing I mean, it's like, but that doesn't really match with the way the world is, right? Because he kind of shuts off. Like, I feel like, what was the one with Anthony Mackie that he did?
She Hate Me.
She Hate Me. That felt like I have a story to tell. I am going to shut myself off to the world. And then when he brought that product out, it was like, hey guys, I have this thing. It was like, No.
No, we don't look at lesbians like that no more.
Right. It's like, no, yo, this is mad unacceptable. So like that's a bad example, or an example that it didn't work. But then there are times where, like Malcolm X, where he clearly just shut off from the world and was like, I am making this movie the way I want to tell this story. And he came out and people were like, holy shit, like this is incredible. And this movie feels like it's more Spike telling his own story in a way than it is just making a movie.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I thought it was great.
Film stars Denzel Washington as Bleek Gilliam. Another weird-ass name.
Yeah, what do you think the deal is with that?
I was looking at that, right? And I'm looking
Flipper Purify, you know?
Because most weird indie artists, they name their characters after something that represents their character, right?
Right.
I don't know what the fuck Flipper Purify represented. So I'm looking up the official definition for what the word bleak means, right? Because it's spelled differently here, but
right.
And I bleak is, you've lost hope, and things are harsh and raw,
Right.
And I'm trying to, and maybe I'm overthinking it, but it's like, all right, well, maybe that's how this guy is when it comes to his art, right? Like it's fucking raw, it's emotional and shit. Like, yeah. But I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. The name doesn't really scream out anything that is meaningful to me.
Right. Spike Lee plays Giant.
Yeah, he definitely gave himself that name.
Yes, he did. Wesley Snipes
come on, dude.
plays Shadow Henderson.
Yo, that's offensive.
I mean, it's accurate.
Darkness Henderson. Like, he was this close.
Right. Spook Johnson.
Right. Come on.
How do you pronounce his sister's name? Joy?
It's oh God, I looked this up yesterday. It's I can't remember. It looks like it would be pronounced that, but it's not pronounced like that.
Okay, well, Spike Lee's sister, Joie Lee, plays Indigo Downs. Does that name look familiar?
No.
Check our Facebook group, and you'll see that's one of our fans named Janaea named herself after Indigo Downs.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yes.
Okay.
Cinda Williams is Clarke Bentecourt.
That name sounds ridiculous.
It does sound ridiculous. What did you think of her, by the way?
Okay. Two things. She had arguably some of the worst hairdos I've ever seen in a movie. She looked like she had a bird on her head at one point. She also had every stereotypical light-skinned black woman's haircut in like college age light-skinned black typical, like in 1990.
Yeah.
And I know that because like my aunt was in college. She is light-skinned around the same time, and I'm pretty sure that same haircut was prevalent.
Does she look like anyone?
Not that I know.
The celebrity that she most resembles, who would you think that is?
Ooh, I don't know.
I would think Halle Berry.
Yes, that's true. Because when she first showed up, I was like, wait, is that like, because she kind of stepped out of the shadows. That's true.
Halle Berry was considered to play Clarke Bentecourt, but turned it down after she found out that the character had sex scenes. So
how ironic.
Halle Berry turned down a role in a Spike Lee film because it had sex scenes.
Oh, because she didn't want to show anything.
She didn't. And then she ended up selling out for Swordfish, right?
Yeah.
All right, well, here's $1 million. Show us your tits. And then she won an Oscar for having a sex scene with Billy Bob Thornton, who was married to Cinda Williams.
Oh, look at that. Look at that.
It all comes full circle.
Billy Bob Thornton was married to Cinda Williams.
Yes, he was.
Interesting.
For 2 years.
I was gonna say for 8 minutes. Yeah.
And then they got divorced.
Billy Bob Thornton he's been around, man.
Billy Bob Thornton is a hoe.
He's had some pretty pretty good looking wives.
Yes, he has. Yes, he has. There's no accounting for taste, but
Yeah, I don't know what they were thinking when they got with Billy Bob Thornton.
I mean, Jesus Christ. Like
that's really fun.
I understand you want to fuck a white man just to kind of get it out of your system, but like that one? Really?
Yeah, Billy Bob Thornton? That seems like weird. Yeah, I guess he was the white man of the moment for a hot second, right?
Yeah, Jesus Christ. The film also stars Giancarlo Esposito, Bill Nunn, and a bunch of other people.
Robin Harris,
including
specifically.
Robin Harris, who the film is dedicated to. John Turturro and Nicholas Turturro.
Yes.
We'll get to them in a minute.
I want to go back to Cinda Williams for a second.
Yes.
I did not appreciate her singing.
You know what? I didn't either. I really didn't.
It was not good.
Like all this,
Is she supposed to be a singer in real life?
No, I don't think she's supposed to be a singer.
All right. Because I know she was taking singing lessons, and I'm like, did you miss some?
And it's weird, right? Because, Wesley Snipes and Denzel Washington aren't playing those instruments, right? Like, right. It's they train to mimic the movements from the actual people playing the instruments.
Right.
So it's essentially the musical instrument equivalent of lip syncing. Right. Well, if you're doing all that, how about you just get somebody to sing for Cinda and then she can lip sync?
Yeah, because her music was not good. She was doing that sing talking thing, and I'm like, you're not singing, you're just talking in a melody, and you're off key. I don't know how that's also possible, but considering I can't sing, I get it. Oh my god!
And
so bad. And the dress she was wearing in that scene was horrible.
A couple of appearances by Sam Jackson and Charlie Murphy.
Yeah, that was kind of fucking crazy. I was like, oh shit.
Yeah, oh shit, Charlie Murphy's here. Missed that guy. So the film begins in 1969 in Brooklyn. We see young Bleek. And first we see a couple of boys, like 4 boys come around. One of them's played by Bud.
Yeah.
And they're hollering for their friend Bleek. And Bleek's mom comes out of the window of her brownstone and she's like, shut the fuck up, yo. Like, I told y'all, stop that shit. And they're like, oh, we want Bleek to come out and play. Like, Bleek is playing his instrument, right? And we go back in. And Bleek is like, I want to go play. And his mom is like, nah, you need to continue your trumpet lesson. The dad is there, who kind of looks like your dad.
Okay, I was going to say, that's exactly what I was going to say. Yeah, it kind of looks like my father.
Which is kind of weird.
It was weird for you? Yeah, I was like, yo, who is this light-skinned ass nigga? I was like, nah, yo, like, this is unacceptable.
So
hurt me, Spike. Hurt him a little bit. Because this guy's like a good dad. Like, what the fuck?
The 4 boys are like, hey, why you being a sissy mama's boy? My mama let me do whatever I want. I'm lucky. And
nah, your mom just don't care about you.
Yeah, your mother just don't give a damn about your little black ass. That's why she named you Bud.
That kid was everywhere for a minute.
He was, man. And that's not the kid from Scrubs, is it? Not Scrubs. No. Not Scrubs.
Black Scrubs?
No, not Black Scrubs. What's that? The one with the psychic who's not really a psychic?
Psych. Oh, from Psych? No,
yeah,
that's not him.
That's not him, right? I don't remember that was a big thing, right? Because those 2 niggas look alike.
No, yeah, that's not him at all. That's hilarious.
So Bleek's mother wants Bleek to continue the trumpet lesson. The father is concerned because, the boys are making fun of him, calling him a sissy and shit like that. And they argue. Meanwhile, Bleek continues to play the trumpet, and then we cut to 20 years later?
Yeah, more or less.
And we see Bleek playing his trumpet in a jazz nightclub, and we get introduced to the Bleek Quartet, and the manager, who is Spike Lee. The Bleek Quartet is Shadow Henderson, Wesley Snipes,
on saxophone.
Giancarlo Esposito as Left Hand Lacey, Bill Nunn as Bottom Hammer, Jeff Watts as Rhythm Jones, and Denzel Washington as Bleek Gilliam.
Yeah, so well, in this scene, we see Bleek is playing, and then he has like a solo or whatever, and then his solo is over, and then Shadow goes on to this super long, what they were saying were like hour-long solos. And then Bleek does this thing, which I thought, like, this is a way to like really step on somebody without it being like too obvious during a play. Like he walks back on stage, hits him on the back, like, all right, nigga, stop with all the solo shit. And then Shadow continues, and so then he breaks his trumpet and then plays into his microphone over him, like on the same cue to like kind of wrap this on out, which I thought was kind of cool. I was like, all right, that's kind of dope.
That's kind of funny. I've been to a number of jazz clubs. Yeah, don't monopolize the time. Like, usually when you plan a set, you just kind of jamming. Like everybody gets their turn.
Right? Yeah, you jump around. Yeah.
Yo, don't do that shit. Yo, don't be like Shadow and sit there and just play your saxophone for 45 minutes.
Yeah, that's obnoxious. Also, like in jazz, I feel like the saxophone is the one that gets you laid the most, right? Like that's the sexier of the instruments. Like nobody really wants to hear a loud ass trumpet blaring in there. Like, all right. That's not really getting the panties off. I feel like where a saxophone, it's like saxophone. You know, like hey, it works. I feel like it works a little bit better. Drums, maybe not. I feel like the stand up bass. Yeah, you can probably make that work, right? That seems cool. Yeah, it's like a human sized thing. Girl, I play you like this.
And
bass.
it's like the musical equivalent of having a deep voice, right? It's
yeah,
like,
it is.
Like, boom, 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 boom. Like, all right, ooh, all right.
Yeah,
all
but
right,
like the trumpet is me talking, like, I have an opinion. Like, yeah, like that's not really working. Like it's not really laying them down. Like it's just not.
We get a couple scenes of them backstage, you know, basically just getting into slight arguments, but they're like joking arguments.
Yeah, like you can't tell at first. Right. This is how black people argue. Like super serious. They're like, all right, nigga. Like
right. It's like that lean on me thing. Where it's just like, well, you so hot on discipline, then start listening to some of mine. Now come on, let's go get something to eat.
It's like all right. That's still one of the greatest scenes of that movie.
It is, man. Which is good. And then we get a couple minutes of Robin Harris doing what Robin Harris does, right? Just being funny.
Just being a crass ass comedian. He was great. Like he was like a lot of people don't think about Robin Harris in that era of comedy, of black comedy, but he was a fucking pioneer, man.
He gets looked over.
He died relatively young.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess he was probably in his 40s or 50s, but like he just didn't last. Yeah. Like you just like legitimately last. So yeah, people forget about him.
The next morning, Bleek wakes up with his girlfriend, Indigo Downs. She leaves to go to class while he meets his father for a game of catch.
Okay, so two things about both of these scenes. One, is Bleek Muslim? Is that what we're meant to believe?
I don't think he is Muslim. I know that he does the Assalamu alaikum thing.
Yeah, to like another dude later on.
But that guy, I just think
that guy was a 5%er.
I think Bleek does it because he knows that guy is a hotep.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
But he's also praying, which seems like he's like praying to Mecca or whatever. So I don't know, but he's not doing like the balance. I don't know. I feel like this is like that weird time like in blackness where we kind of identified with some things that were like Muslim and then with other things like it was kind of this like
we would have like you know, especially because it was the 90s and shit, right? Like
did you celebrate Kwanzaa at one point?
Yeah I had an African medallion at one point.
Yeah, like we had that. Like I feel like this is 1990, so I feel like that was a. Yeah, we didn't know really what we wanted to do. Like, we were just trying on a lot of shit, which is cool. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, whatever. Culture. Them Jews get 7 days. Why can't we get 7 days?
We got a Blenora. Why not? Yeah, I don't know what we were doing. But
my mother keeps those things in the house after Christmas. She don't know what none of them are.
What, the Kwanzaa thing?
Yeah, she don't know what none of the days are. She don't know what none of the days are. The only reason I know what Imani is, and the only reason I know is because of our podcaster.
Yeah, that's true.
That's it.
Yeah.
So
I think I know one, but I'm not going to say the name because it seems offensive.
Oh, you got to say it now.
Isn't it like, no, see, I can't. Don't be a dick about it.
Isn't it Papa Shango? Like, no, it's not Papa Shango.
It could be, though. You don't know. But yeah, it's, so that scene, I wasn't sure if he was a Muslim. The other part is, I find it funny because, let's just call her Joy Lee, because I can't quite remember the pronunciation of her name, so I apologize.
Sorry.
She did a lot of writing for Spike Lee, right? Like she did screenplays and like she did the screenplay and the story for Crooklyn, right? Like she wrote those, and so she's still acting and stuff like that. But she's done quite a bit of writing for him. What I think is funny, I don't know if she did any writing on this. No, she didn't. Spike wrote this one, but. You got to imagine, like, if you're Spike Lee, like, hey, so do you want to be in this movie I'm doing? It's got Denzel Washington. She's like, oh, okay, cool. Who do I get to play? Oh, you get to play one of the women he sleeps with. Wait, I get to make out with Denzel Washington? Yeah, I'm going to be in your movie. Right. Like, I'm surprised she didn't write and was like, this part is where I make out with Denzel Washington. He ain't got no kind of shirt on. Like, all right. Like, I just think that's kind of funny. Like, just imagine, like, Spike Lee and Denzel Washington are clearly friends, like actual, like, you know, friends outside of just their work. And I just imagine being like, nah, I got this scene with your sister. Don't worry about it. Like, yo, Denzel, chill out.
Kind of weird, yo.
I'm like, yo, come on, yo.
I'm not filming you making out with my sister.
Nah, yo, my sister titty is out, my nigga. Like, come on, yo.
Hey, what are you doing, yo?
Come on, yo.
I know you do shit for your art, but not that.
Nah, yo.
Not
like,
that.
That would be the one I'd be like, nah, you gotta wear a t-shirt.
Right.
You wear a shirt.
You gotta wear a t-shirt, and I gotta be offset.
Yeah, you get your junior filmer. Like, you come on and film this scene. Call me when you're done. Don't need to see it.
The significance of this scene, one of the
baseball,
things,
the catch scene?
No, right before the baseball scene, when he's with Indigo, we established that while they like each other, Bleek is not about commitment.
Yeah, he won't say that he's in love with her.
Right. And he's just, you know, he likes her, but he likes other women too. And he's just not about
It's a dick thing.
Right. It's a dick thing. All right. All right. This is another 1990s shit.
Yeah, like this movie, it's funny. Imagining this movie being made in 2018 would be interesting because like women's lib has changed so much in how women look at relationships.
Yeah.
Like it wouldn't be like, oh, it's a dick thing. They both would just be like, no, we just fucking. Like,
yeah.
Like, no, when I was single, like I didn't date women, but I did sleep with women, and it wasn't like they thought we were exclusive. Like,
right.
No, it's just honest. Yeah.
Right. We grown. We know what grown folks do.
Right.
Let's have fun.
Right. And so it's just kind of interesting that he has that mentality, but like how times have changed dramatically in 18 years.
Yeah. Later in the day, Bleek is practicing.
Or 28 years, excuse me.
Yeah, 28 years. Jesus Christ.
Yo, we're fucking old. I was alive in the 90s.
Later that day, while he is practicing, another woman named Clarke comes to visit him.
Did you, by the way, I'm sorry, did you find any significance of the baseball scene with him playing catch with his dad as adults? I thought that was curious.
I think, no, not necessarily. I think it's something. So guys and their fathers are weird, especially straight, like heterosexual men. Like they don't know how to, especially back then.
They just don't know how to talk to each other.
Right. They don't know how to talk to each other. They don't know how to love each other. Right.
Like, let's put on these full baseball jerseys and throw a ball around. Nigga, you're 30.
Right.
We just go to brunch.
Right. But nah, like, cause that's nah, yo.
Nah, that might be gay.
You take a woman to lunch.
I'll take your father to lunch, nigga.
Right.
Throw a ball.
Right. Throw a ball. And we gotta make sure that we're in uniform so people know that we are throwing the ball and not throwing each other's balls.
Right? It's so weird.
What?
But it's. I think that's what it kind of. I don't think Spike meant it to, but to me, that's what it speaks to. Like this really weird awkwardness between a grown man and his own father.
Right. Like me and my dad, we don't have the best relationship. Like, we talk about. There's one thing my father wants to. Well, two things now: how's the baby and how's work, and that's it. That's it.
I mean, that's me and my stepdad. Right. I mean, not about the kid, but like it's like how's work.
Right. Yeah. So
we have no like the previous generation and our generation have no idea how to communicate with each other. Nope. Men, that's what we can speak to. Like it's really fucking weird.
It is, man. It is.
Yeah. So I can't imagine what that's like. Our generation, like if I was gay, like what the fuck would we talk about?
Right.
So how's work? Well, I'm in a relationship. I said how's work, nigga. I'm trying to hear that shit. Like it is kind of funny. Like even as straight guys, like there's so much conflict in trying to have a conversation.
Right.
It's weird.
So Bleek is practicing. Clarke comes over.
Vicky Valancourt.
And Clarke is. I thought Clarke was wearing like a pink robe. That's some sort of jacket.
My wife thought she was wearing a bathrobe.
Yeah, I thought she was wearing a bathrobe.
She was like, what the fuck is going on here?
Like 90s fashion. Look, as much as I love the 90s fashion is just terrible.
It was a mess.
Bunch of polygons just strapped on to people and shit.
Everything is super baggy.
All women look like fucking upside down triangles with the shoulder pads and shit. Like, come on, yo. It's just terrible. So yeah, they're flirting, and
she disturbs his. She disturbs his. Practice.
Yeah, she disturbs his practice. He's like, "Look, what are you doing? Like, what time is it?" It's like it's 1. And what time am I? What am I doing right now? I'm practicing. And she's like, "Yeah, well, I just wanted to see you." Like, she specifically like does this to fuck with him or whatever, right? Yeah. They come in and they start making out, and eventually she kind of bites him on the lip, and he's like, "Oh, what the fuck are you doing, bitch?"
Yeah, I mean, look, I'm all for it, right? Like, I'm all for all of that. Like, that is fine. I'm not a prude at all in that way. But like, don't do that. That would be like, I don't know. That would be like my wife judo chopping my neck. Like, I use my voice. Like, bow! Isn't that sexy? Like, no, it's not. What the fuck, yo? Come on, there are other things we can do. There's a whole body here.
Right.
Yeah, don't fuck with my business.
Right. Don't fuck with my business, man. She bites him in the lip. He gets legit pissed. Yeah. And he's like, don't fucking play around like that. I make my living with my lips.
And then every woman in the crowd was like, oh, Denzel.
I wonder if something's going to happen to his lips.
No, never can tell.
She also suggests that Giant is a shitty manager.
Yeah, just randomly. Just fucking out of nowhere.
Because he's like, you could be doing better, but Giant is a shitty manager. Cut to Giant being a shitty manager.
Yep.
He meets with his bookie to play some bets, and we see that he has a severe gambling problem.
At one point, he's just like reading all of the baseball games that are happening that week. Yeah. And he's just like, give me $200 on each game. And he goes down like 8 games. I'm like, nigga, no. What the fuck? That's $1,000. Like, nah, like, that was like something like $1,000 at least.
I never understood the mentality of a gambler. You
don't gamble at all?
I'm way too cheap to gamble.
Oh, I like to gamble.
No, I don't like to gamble at all.
But
I am risk adverse.
I am. I wouldn't say the opposite of risk averse, but I believe in gambling. I like to gamble in a box, in a safety box. So maybe I am risk averse as well, right? Mm-hmm. So like, I'll take like $300. I'm gonna gamble with.
That's a lot of money.
Exactly. Yeah, I mean, imagine how many milkshakes you could buy at Chick-fil-A. But I take like that $300, like if I go to Vegas or Atlantic City, and that's what I spend. But anything that I win goes into my pocket. and I spend down that $300, and that's it. Now, if I walk away with $800, I don't double back and try to spend that. Nah, that's $800 clear. Nah, yo, it's clear. Nah, yo, get out of here. My wife and I, that's how we play. And we went to a fantastic, very expensive dinner on our Vegas winnings playing like that. Nah, yo, like, take that money, you put that money away. That's for later. You don't spend that money.
See, and I would have a problem, right? I would have a severe problem because I would do what you said, right? I would take, this is my gambling money.
Right.
A cool $5. And if I happen to win more money with this, right? Like I would try to bank some of it. But then like
you can't.
Right, like, and then I would.
See, there is no try. There is only do or do not. Like,
right.
Because the second you try to save it, you're gonna spend all of it.
Right, exactly.
So, like back in the day, when my grandmother was around, like we'd take my grandmother to the casino. She liked to play the slots, which is just like, why don't you just throw your money down a toilet?
Yeah,
like, it's a computer.
You have better luck throwing your money in a fountain and wishing for a payout.
Right, and then maybe a genie will pop out of it. Right. You play in the slots, like it's just gone. Play games of chance. And so we would take her and we would just give her like, here, grandma, here's $100, right? And then she would put all that shit, she'd cash it in and put it all in, in the slot machine, and she'd just play. She played all the way down, and she'd win $400, and then she'd just keep playing, down to zero. I'm like, cash out at 400.
Right.
You 4 times, that's 4x. You won. And she's like, nah. Fuck that.
Have fun. Nah, losing money ain't fun, man.
Nah, it ain't fun to me. That's
losing
why
money is not fun.
Somebody told me once, they were like, oh, me and my brother, we're going to Vegas for his birthday. He's never been. He wants to go there for a week. I was like, why do you need to be in Vegas for a week? I don't need to lose money for an entire week.
It's a strip.
Yo, go for 3 days. 3 days. Day 1, you get there. This is fun. You go walk around Vegas, do a little bit of gambling. Day 2, you get your real gambling in. Day 3, you wake up kind of pissed because you lost all that damn money on day 2. You pay a little bit, and then you get the fuck out of there. Yeah, that's it. More than 3 days, you better be drinking heavily.
Yeah, movies have fucked people's minds up when it comes to Vegas. Vegas has very good marketing.
Oh, you win. Ocean's 11. Like, they had to steal that money. Like, you're not walking out of there and just cashing out. Get the fuck out of here.
So, what's his name has a gambling problem. Then we see him do the future Malcolm X walk. Like, I think that's just how he walks, yo. I think that's just how Spike Lee walks.
It might be.
It's just really weird.
The zoot suit walk.
He meets Bleek at the club with the rest of the band, except for the pianist, Left Hand Lacey, who arrives late with his French girlfriend and is scolded by Giant. Look, this scene isn't like, it doesn't have anything to do with the story or anything. It's just hilarious to me. That Giancarlo Esposito coming in with this white woman talking about, she's a sister. You know that, right?
How, dog?
What? I was like, come again?
Yeah.
It's just hysterical to me. And this feels like one of those improv scenes.
Oh, yeah, there ain't no acting going on in this.
Right.
Like literally zero. Literally zero. Which I appreciate.
Yeah. Later on, Giant goes up to the club owners, played by John and Nicholas Turturro, to try and renegotiate their contract, right? Mm-hmm. Because it's like, hey, look, guys, we are bringing in so many people to your establishment. How about we get a little bit of the cut? And I forget what their characters' names are.
I'm sorry. Hold on a second. I just realized something that I could not help but laugh about. In this scene, the previous scene with Giancarlo Esposito, where he's got the picture of his girlfriend on the mirror, they have a conversation about you're only mad because she's a white woman. Yeah, like, and they take a cutout of like this black woman, and they're like, you only care that she's white. That's why you're complaining who I put up on this wall. And I was like, ugh. I'm having like do the right thing flashbacks. He's obsessed with putting things on walls. It's really fun. That's his character arc.
That's his thing, man. He went from being angry about having no black people on the wall to being angry about having a white person on this wall.
Yeah. This guy is like he's all over the place.
Something about walls, and then somebody puts Terrence's Wet Dream, just this big booty black woman, just like bam.
She didn't even have a head. It was just a body. Yeah, that was so fucking funny.
That shit was funny, man. Giant goes up to meet the club owners, the Flatbush brothers. Mo and Josh to try and renegotiate the contract.
Mo and Josh,
and they were like, "Nah, we're not renegotiating. Like that was part of the deal. But we make it specifically that we don't renegotiate."
Yeah, they're sons of bitches.
Yeah, they are sons of bitches. More about them later.
So also a thing about John Turturro. John Turturro is, in my opinion, a significantly better actor than his brother.
John Turturro is better than Nicholas Turturro at acting. Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
Yeah. No shit.
That being said, Nicholas Turturro, given the right roles, and he's had some pretty decent ones in the past, he does pretty good too. But I just think Turturro he's got better range.
Yeah. Well, he's playing a Jew here, so yeah.
Yeah, but aren't they both?
Yeah, they're both playing Jewish. They're both playing Jewish guys.
Just massive Jewish stereotypes. Yeah. This is one of the rare Spike Lee movies that John Turturro isn't playing an Italian racist.
Right.
He's playing a Jewish asshole. Spike Lee only knows 3 white people. He's like, you're Jewish this time. You're Italian this time. You're an Italian Jew this time. Like, what the fuck, Spike? Like, do you have anything else? I got nothing else.
We get a quick scene of Bleek going to Indigo's house to fuck her, basically. You know, he had a good night and wants to cap it off. Giant meets his bookie the next morning.
But by the way, shout out to Spike Lee, a dark-skinned black woman.
Yeah,
like that. And I wonder if he picked Cinda Williams
to contrast
to contrast that, which I thought was interesting.
Yeah.
But by the way, here's an interesting thing about Denzel Washington's career. Denzel Washington is a black male actor who was an absolute sex symbol, period. Not just in the black community, period.
Yeah.
Never had an issue being on screen with dark-skinned women. Never had an issue with it.
No, because
I'm not even sure I can think of too many roles he played where he had a white female counterpart as far as like romantic lead.
Not romantically. He's been in movies with white women, but
but not romantically. I don't think.
I mean, to be fair, I don't see that with most movies.
No, but I'm saying as like an Idris Elba or something like that. Not that he has a problem with it, but a lot of times when they become popular, Hollywood is like, yoink, you will always be put with either light-skinned black women or white women.
It would be light-skinned black women. I don't think the powers that be would allow for a black man to be with a white woman on screen like that, unless you are Will Smith. You know what I mean? Like, whenever you see...
hasn't been with a white woman as a...
In an American-produced...
Yeah, film? I'm trying to think.
I don't think so.
No? Okay.
Britain, they did. No, whatever.
They don't give a fuck.
Right.
They like, you go and deal with this shit.
Right. You married to this Pakistani woman, Luther. You really like it.
Yeah, that's right.
Right. Whereas...
She got killed.
It's the opposite, right? Like... If there's a white man can have whatever.
You get the run of it, Billy. You get your Billy Bob Thornton on.
Right, exactly.
You just do whatever the fuck you want.
Exactly.
That's a wild scenario in Hollywood, by the way.
Yeah.
Like if you're a white man, you get to colonize whatever color pussy you want all across Hollywood. They don't care.
If you're a black woman, you're not starring in a movie.
Yeah.
And if you do,
you got to get Steve McQueen to come. He's got to call you and be like, you get to be in this movie.
So you lucky to be in this movie, black woman.
Yeah, it's kind of.
And if you're Asian, who? What?
You can be around a bunch of crazy rich ones. That's it. We don't put Asian people in movies.
Right.
Just fucked up, man.
It's a weird but very definitive hierarchy.
Yeah.
In movies where white men just get to do whatever.
Yeah, Latin men Black men can do black men can be with black women, light-skinned black women more often than not, right? If they become bigger, which is fucked up.
Yeah.
And they can be with Latina women. Like that's okay. That's seen as okay. When Latina actresses get big, they're almost exclusively taken away from the Latino community and given to white male actors. 9 times out of 10. It's kind of crazy. And then white men get to do whatever the fuck they want.
Right.
White women, pretty much whatever they want. But 9 times out of 10, it's with a white dude.
White women pretty much can do whatever they want, but they never do it with an Asian guy for some strange reason.
Yeah, that's a good point.
That's very odd to me. Like,
which is funny because almost every Asian guy I know dates either exclusively or is married to white women.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of funny.
So
interesting. There's a coupling you don't see very often in movies.
Yeah. Well, there's a coupling you don't see.
Black and Asian either.
Yeah, you don't see that at all, ever.
I mean, you damn near don't see that in reality.
Right.
I mean, you just don't.
So it's fucked up.
Yeah, it is.
Everybody love each other.
Yeah, but that's why. Look, Denzel Washington's next movie after this is Mississippi Masala. He's with an Indian woman.
Yeah.
So there you go.
So yeah, Giant meets with his bookie. He's concerned that Giant is going too deep into debt. Giant was like, nah, don't worry about it. Go ahead, play some more bets. I'll win with those, and then I'll recoup. I mean, at what point is it the bookie's fault?
Yeah, I'm like,
come on, yo.
Like, no. Hey, man, just float me for a while. See, no. I'm not gonna do that.
Giant then stops at Shadow's home to drop off a record that Bleek had borrowed. Shadow then asks Giant for help. He's like, come into the bedroom with me for a second. Here's my bed with green and red sheets. You smell anything in here? And Giant is like, I don't know. And then Wesley Snipes is like, I smell pussy on this thing, or perfume or some shit. Right?
I mean, yes.
Right. And he was like, you smell something? He's like, no, not really. And basically he confides in Giant that he's been cheating on his girl with this other girl.
Shadow is weirdly the opposite in a lot of ways to Bleek, right? Because he's supposed to be in a committed relationship, but he's completely dishonest.
Right. It's a dick thing.
But just break up.
Right. He was like, well, I can't do that because the sex is great. And she's
I like
good.
her.
And I like her. I just don't like her enough to be exclusive with her. That's all.
Yeah.
All right, nigga. All right, yo.
Oh, the shit we put up with. I will never understand.
Fucking guys, yo.
Yeah, like,
god damn.
That's why I never understand dudes are like, I can't believe that woman's a lesbian. I can believe it.
Yeah.
I get it.
I do, man.
I'm sorry. It's like a lot of niggas ain't shit. It just ain't shit.
Next scene, we see Bleek in bed with Clarke. She was like, turn over, Clarke, or turn over, Bleek. And she gets on top.
Yeah, but do you know what a pegging is? Like, oh, no.
I thought she was about to give him a massage, right? And she just busted his back pimples.
I was like, that's disgusting. Like, that's not hot to me.
Nah, yo. Nah. That's not, no. The image of pus dripping out of my back and shit while you, like, nah, yo. Nah.
Does Denzel Washington suffer from a lot of back knee? Like, what is going on? I guess that's a sign of love. Like,
it's a sign of intimacy.
I mean, it's a real sign of intimacy. Look, I will be the first to tell you, my wife does not do that.
Nah, yo.
Don't touch me like that. Like, look, that's not a thing I'm positive on. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm just kind of like, all right. It's cool.
The whole point of this scene is not to bust back knee, but to for Clarke to say, hey, I've been taking singing lessons. How about I sing for you? In your band. And Bleek is like,
how about you don't?
Nah.
He even said, even if we were married, my answer would be the same. Like, he don't give a fuck. And he was like, no.
And she's like, well, Shadow thinks I can sing. It's like, nah.
Nice try. Here's the thing. I don't give a fuck what that saxophone player ass nigga has to say. I don't give a fuck. You stink.
Oh yeah, I forgot. She comes over and just sticks her tongue in his ear.
Yeah.
That's not hot to me, yo.
I'm not gonna say that.
Not in the ear, not in the ear canal. No,
I'm not gonna say that.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, I'm not gonna say that. Yeah, I'm not against that.
All right.
No, I'm not against that.
Nah.
Don't bite me. I'm not against that. Actually, it depends. But yeah. Look, again, she's got a Georgetown Georgetown college sweatshirt on. She looks like every college age light-skinned chick I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, like I'm telling you, that is every black woman who is that complexion or lighter has had that haircut if it was in the 90s.
Absolutely.
100%.
Absolutely.
And he doesn't, by the way, he doesn't hear anything that she's saying, which is another torture of the
consumed.
artist.
Yeah, he's so consumed with his work. In this case, being an artist.
Yeah.
But
I mean, I like this is sort of an art, I guess. Like, I'm not that consumed with it.
I mean, it's performance art.
Yeah, like, but again, I'm not that consumed with it.
Yeah, no.
If my wife was like, hey, I'd be like,
right.
We can pause this. I'll be back 3 minutes.
I've literally just hopped off of multiplayer video games. I'm in the middle of a multiplayer video
Who
game
cares?
playing with people, and my wife is like, hey, let's do this. And and my avatar will just sit there.
I don't care if it dies.
Right. Whatever. Ain't nothing that important.
No. No.
Right.
No. I trust me. I can stop podcasting at any time.
Right.
If my wife came down these stairs, it was just like,
right.
I'd be like,
I'll finish this show.
yeah, you good? You good? You good? Yeah, this is a solo episode. Yeah. No, fuck out of here.
So Bleek was creating a new song, basically.
That seems incredibly difficult to me.
Yeah, I can't imagine composing.
Yeah, composing and trying not to steal from other people, just unconsciously.
I mean,
Like comedy writing, like to me would be really hard.
Yeah, I mean, with music, I give it a little bit of a pass because there are only so many notes.
Right. Yeah, absolutely.
You know what I mean? So, but like writing, nah. That's why if you ever hear me say a joke that I know is not mine, I will. If I don't know who said it, I will say that this is not mine.
Yeah, like you can't just steal people's jokes. Man.
Yeah, man.
I came up with that. No, you didn't. Stop it.
So Bleek goes to meet with the rest of the band, right? And he's like, I got this new song for y'all. And Shadow is like, yo, where our money at, yo? And Bleek and Giant they try to pacify them as much as they can. This is another one of those scenes where it's just black dudes arguing, shooting the shit and getting on each other. But at the same time, like
no, but I need to get paid.
Where my money?
I mean, but again, Spike Lee, who I would not argue is a great actor at all, is acting off of Denzel Washington, Wesley Snipes, and Bill Nunn.
Right.
Like you have no reason to be there. Like, and Carlos Esposito. Like, these are like pretty decent heavy hitters, like in acting.
Yeah, man.
From decent to great. So
there's a reason why you keep bringing the same motherfuckers back. Because they're really good actors.
Yeah. And that's actually a good point too, which is, often these guys, especially like a Bill Nunn or a Carlos Esposito, would not have gotten a shot really in Hollywood. And Denzel Washington probably wouldn't have really either, right? Like if you're just talking about based off, white actors are the only ones who are important. You got three heavy hitting guys here.
Yeah.
Who are damn great actors. I mean, Carlos Esposito was amazing in Breaking Bad, and he's been great in everything. I've never seen him in a role that I'm like, it's not really working. Like, he's a goofball in this, but that's the point, right?
Yeah.
Bill Nunn is always a pretty heavy hitter in any of his stuff, and fucking Denzel Washington. Like,
yeah,
Denzel Washington is a superstar. So it's just kind of funny that black films, like when you move them outside, especially like a movie like this that is a very, very black film, when you move them outside of Hollywood, like the general white Hollywood view, like you miss so much. Like there are so many actors that you would never have known about.
Yeah.
Which again brings us to a point that we often make, which is not just black people, but people of color, period, like have so much to offer. Just turn your gaze like just to the right a little bit and you'll see that.
Yeah, that's what the whole diversity argument is, right? Like there's so many talented people out there that just aren't being given an opportunity.
Right, exactly.
You know, I don't know. We cut to the Bleek Quartet having basically performing a set, and I mean, I like it.
This is fantastic. This is one of my favorite scenes.
Denzel Washington is rapping about love songs and how like all these different love songs. Like it's really good. Like
whoever wrote that is pretty talented, right? Because it's taking snippets from all of these love songs that like you're like, oh, okay, I know that's and he's sort of rapping through it, and then playing, and he's doing different genres of rap music and like everything else. It was actually pretty great.
After the set, Bleek decides that he's going to go up to the club owners and renegotiate his contract, and this is an interesting scene. Basically, in the scene, the Flatbush Bros are like, look, you got a shitty manager, and I don't care how many people you brought in. I appreciate it. I really like your music, but you got a real shitty manager, and I need you to, if you want more money, you should fire your manager and wait till this contract runs out, and then I can hook you up with my own manager, right? And
I am the manager.
I am the manager. And Denzel Washington's character is like, well, that's my friend, man. Like I'm not gonna fire my friend.
Right.
Nah, yo. Nah.
So you just gonna fire your boy?
Yeah. I am. Sorry. If you were doing a shitty job of managing me, you wouldn't be my manager. And I know that the reverse is true.
That's not true, is it?
Nah, yeah, well,
it's true. It's super true.
Right.
I came to that conclusion way before whatever happens in this movie. I'm like, nigga, you gotta go. Nah, you fucking up my shit. like that's my whole thing. It's like, no, we're cool, but the second you start fucking up my shit,
right?
Nah, we got a problem.
Right. And look, if you're real friends, just like the real friends in this thing, in this film, you'll get past it.
Yeah.
But that's why people don't mingle money and friendships and family and all that shit together, man.
Yeah, you and I had that conversation.
Yeah, man.
About, like when we bought our house. Like, I want you to use your family. No.
Right. Get the fuck out of here.
Nah, yo. You ain't getting into my finances.
Nope.
Fuck that.
So this scene is interesting. And so this film was brought under fire from a couple of different Jewish anti-defamation leagues, right? And the Anti-Defamation League claimed that the characterization of the nightclub owners, quote, dredge up an age-old and highly dangerous form of anti-Semitic stereotyping.
Yeah.
And that they were disappointed with Spike Lee, whose success is largely due to his efforts to break down racial stereotypes and prejudice, has employed the same kind of tactics that he supposedly deplores.
Yeah, that's not incorrect.
Spike Lee responded in the New York Times. He said, a double standard at work. He's alleging that a double standard at work in the accusations of anti-Semitism, given the long history of negative portrayals of African Americans in film. Not, quote, not every black person is a pimp, murderer, prostitute, convict, racist, rapist, or drug addict, but that hasn't stopped Hollywood from writing these roles for African Americans. Lee argues that Even if the Flatbush brothers are stereotyped figures, their, quote, 10 minutes of screen time is insignificant when it compares to 100 years of Hollywood cinema and a slew of really racist anti-Semitic filmmakers. According to Lee, his status as a successful African-American artist has led to hostility and unfair treatment. Quote, don't hold me to a higher moral standard than the rest of my filmmaking colleagues. Now that young black filmmakers have arisen in the film industry, all of a sudden stereotypes are a big issue. I think it's reaching to the point where I'm getting reviewed and not my films. Spike Lee, he refused to apologize for the portrayal of the Flatbush brothers, saying, I stand behind my work, including my characters, Mo and Josh Flatbush. If critics are telling me to avoid charges of anti-Semitism, all Jewish characters I write have to be model citizens and not one can be a villain, cheat, or crook, and that no Jewish people have ever exploited black artists in the history of entertainment industry, well, that's just unrealistic and unfair.
All right, your thoughts on that? I mean, like, at first I was like, no, and then I was like, yeah, and then kind of maybe. I mean, I think you might have swung me, Spike.
Like, right, like, look.
He ain't wrong.
What's good for the goose is good for the gander, man. And look, I'm all about stereotypes. Stereotypes are funny. Stereotypes, like they are, yo. They are.
I'm all for stereotypes.
I'm all for them, yo. I'm all for them. We play on, look, it's low-hanging fruit, but we play off of stereotypes in everything.
Yeah, we do. Absolutely.
That's why they are stereotypes, because things happen so much.
That stereotypes exist for a reason.
Right. They exist for a reason.
Now, okay, here's the question, though. Can stereotypes be damaging?
Absolutely they can. Absolutely they can.
And I think that's the Anti-Defamation League's point, is that they can be they can be harmful. Now, Spike's response, I agree and disagree with. I largely agree with it, right? But what he did was he jumped off topic to defend himself, which is not the way you make an argument.
That's not how you That's
yeah,
not
you can't go, well, they do it to us. Like, come on, yo.
That's not how you argue, yo.
Yeah, like, you gotta, like, when you're wrong, like, you gotta just, it's okay to be like, I was wrong about this, and this is also happening, right? But don't say, I ain't wrong about this because this happens to us. Right. Like, that's not a response, right? You can't, like, a black person can't just go up to Jews and be like, fuck you, kike. Like, well, white people call us nigger. Like, that's not a response. Like, that doesn't work, right? So that's basically what he did in the beginning.
Right.
But his point of them seeming to hold him to a higher standard than they hold the rest of white Hollywood is very true.
Yes.
Like, that's the point where I was like, you're swinging me.
Right.
Because he's an easier target because he is one of the sole big film director black voices. So it's easy to be like, why haven't you gotten this right? Right. But like, dude, there is a slew of white directors. Dude, the Ferengi on Star Trek are giant Jewish stereotypes. Like, they are. Like, but they're only played by Jews. Like that's a true story if you don't know that, right?
Oh, I didn't know that they were actually played.
Yeah, and I'm like, what are you doing? That's like black people like doing blackface. Like, what are you doing? Like, that's not okay, right? So there are a slew of examples to Spike's point. So why are you coming after him specifically? But two wrongs don't also make a right. Like, you can't discriminate and then go, well, you're discriminating against us. Like, come on, that's
I mean, look, if I was,
you got to be better than that.
I mean, I'm glad he handled it the way he handled it, but I don't like.
It ain't clean.
Yeah, it's not.
No, you didn't get away from that clean.
No. But yeah, like you said, at the same time, like, he has a solid ass point, man. Like, I can understand you not apologizing, you refusing to apologize. That's fine. I am all about refusing. Like, no.
In this era, president not apologizing, nothing.
Right. Like, I'm not going to apologize for my work. You feel some kind of way about it, and that's your right to feel that kind of way.
That's your right. Yeah, absolutely.
But I'm not gonna make concessions to you just because you get offended. I'm offended that you offended.
Yeah, what does that mean?
Right. Like, it doesn't.
Let's get the bread out of the oven. Who cares?
Right. Like, and it's not. And I mean, it's not in my purview. It's not malicious. It's not.
Yeah, but that's our purview.
Right. That's my point of view. So look, I get it, but at the same time, like, nah, yo. Like, I'm still going to make fun of black people for being late and eating fried chicken and all that shit. And I'm still going to make fun of Asian people for being smart and knowing how to fight. What the fuck?
you kind of won that one.
I'm still going to make
I feel
fun
like Asian folks and black people got kind of the best stereotypes. Oh, sorry, you got a big dick.
Right.
You got me.
You guys have big dicks and are tremendous athletes.
Yeah, you got me.
All right.
Right. I mean, there's a couple of stereotypes that are not so positive.
Right.
Right. Like Asian guys got the opposite. Like, you got little dicks. Like, oh, come on, man.
Yeah, they have the opposite stereotypes.
Yeah.
We each have stereotypes, good and bad, and we have the opposite of those good and bad stereotypes.
Absolutely. Except for Latinos, because they somehow simultaneously get that they're lazy and hard workers, which has never made sense to me.
Yeah, it doesn't.
Like, these guys are taking our jobs and having siestas. Like, wait, that doesn't make any sense. You can't be both. The spoiler alert, they're just really hard workers. Like, they're not lazy.
Like, get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, that's never made sense.
And then white people, I mean, good God, where to begin?
Those aren't stereotypes. Those are accurate. Those are just facts. No, but yeah, his response swung me, because at the beginning I was like, yo, I am not buying that as an answer. But ultimately he isn't wrong. Like, you really are pointing out and you're judging his entire films based on those things, where you would not do that with a white director. Right. You would just be like, well, that's not okay, and then you would move on.
Right. It's essentially, you're judging me and everything that I do in my films, and you're not doing it with everybody else. I wonder what the difference is.
Right. Right. And that persists today, right?
Absolutely.
Black filmmakers or filmmakers of color are always held to a much higher standard than white filmmakers are held to, right? And I don't just mean that as far as like doing stereotypes in movies, but I mean just quality of movies, right? Like, you can be a shitty white director and make 1 billion movies and people just keep hiring you. You a black director, you make one shitty movie, oof, that might be your whole career.
Yeah.
Right? Like, people, they love Jordan Peele. Let Jordan Peele come out with a fucking stinker tomorrow.
Yeah.
And people will be like, I don't know about this guy.
Yeah.
Nope. And then immediately he will drop to like the bottom rung of Hollywood directors.
Yeah.
But Paul W.S. Anderson keeps making movies. Like,
right.
And people keep being in them, like big names. So
right. This motherfucker makes 8 fucking Resident Evil movies and he still gets work. Like, all right.
Yeah. And those are not good. Like, by anyone's real standard. Not that you like the games. Like, no, by any filmmaking standard, they're not good. But he is allowed to fail and come back, which is one of the most powerful things about being in white Hollywood.
Yeah, about being white, period. Like, you're allowed to fuck up.
Yeah, and come back.
You're allowed to fuck up, and then people are like, oh, it's a redemption story, right?
Yeah, are there many redemption stories of like black actors or black directors? I don't think so.
You can't. You can't, right? You can't. I mean, look at Wesley Snipes, right? Since he's in this film, right? He fell off when he got caught cheating on his taxes.
Where's his redemption story?
Right.
It still isn't.
He's not in nothing.
Yeah.
Was his big comeback the Expendables 3?
Yeah, it kind of was.
Was that his big?
No, it was. It was. The only white person that I've seen that really hasn't been able to quite make it. But he's on his way. He's trying, though. It's Mel Gibson.
He's trying, though, man. Like, they
try to slide his ass into everything.
Right. They're trying to make you. They're trying to make you forget. I hope you get raped by a pack of niggers. Like,
which that's the one people don't even know he said that shit. Right. Everybody knows all the bullshit, everyone, the sugar tits and all that.
Right, and the anti-Semitic stuff. Right.
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck were we just talking about?
Yeah. That was when people go, oh, Mel Gibson's the worst. Yo, he said to his girlfriend, I hope you get raped by a pack of niggers, and nobody cares, yo. That's hilarious. What?
Come on, man.
One, that's offensive to her about rape. 2, fuck you, my nigga. Like, what the fuck? Yo, come on, yo. Like, you're the violent sociopath, not us. So yeah, I mean, but it is funny, like how society sees different standards. I mean, there are people go, oh, I'm so sick of seeing movies about slavery. Do you hear that about the Holocaust?
Right.
You never will. You never will.
Nope.
You never will. And look, that's not, I don't believe in playing the oppression Olympics. One is worse than the other. No, that's not my point. My point is we don't treat tragedy or treat an ability, we don't treat people similarly, right? Like Wesley Snipes can't come back from tax evasion.
Right.
From tax evasion. Mel Gibson can say anti-Semitic, anti-black, anti-woman shit, and they're like,
all on the same phone call.
Yeah, and they're like, but he made Braveheart. And look, granted, Braveheart's pretty great, but like they try to slide his ass back in there. And he's not in like straight to DVD movies. He's in movies with like Will Ferrell and shit. Like, yeah, they're trying to slide him back into comedies and shit. I'm like, ain't nothing comedic about Mel Gibson. He's a lunatic. So yeah, I mean, it's just it's different in the way the world works. But yeah, the ability to come back from failure is something that is unbelievably white. That I think is a thing that white people do not understand, a privilege that they have.
That's white privilege, folks.
That's
if you don't understand what that shit is, that is it.
Yeah. Yeah, and look, that's a real question, by the way, for everybody. Try to think of a black actor or a black director or someone in Black Hollywood period who has had like a major falling off, like jail time or domestic violence or said something or whatever, and has come back.
Yeah.
We can name plenty of white actors that's happened to.
So
fucking Iron Man, dude. Like Robert Downey Jr. was a drug addict, a massive publicly displayed drug addict. That they took him off of Ally McBeal and all that other shit. People don't remember that, right? He got pulled off all those shows because they tried to give him a comeback. Then he got drunk in public. They pulled his ass off the show a number of times.
Right.
Now he's the biggest star in the world.
And now he's playing, and now this generation knows him for playing a comic book character that traditionally has fucking alcohol abuse problems.
He's such a good actor. He's not acting.
No, he would be perfect for this role. Yeah, do Demon in a Bottle.
Like he's like, no. He's like, you want to see Demon in a Bottle, nigga? Check the 90s. Like it's right there.
Yeah, it's called Chapping.
Like, come
I was
on.
drinking back then.
Like, get the fuck out of here. But that is, I mean, it's a powerful thing about being white.
Oh shit.
So yeah, there's your homework. Try to figure that one out.
All right, back to this movie. We cut to the nightclub, right? And the guys are playing, and Indigo, who has expressed that she is an introvert and she doesn't
introvert.
Yeah, and doesn't like crowds and all that shit. She does what every person who calls themselves an introvert does, and she goes out.
Right.
With a bunch of fucking people around. And
she seems perfectly fine with it.
And she seems perfectly fine with it. And she's wearing a beautiful red dress, right? And later on that same night, Clarke comes in. I believe Clarke was actually invited, and Indigo was just a surprise thing.
Yeah. And, surprise.
Yeah.
Both of the women yet you're with.
And and they happen to be wearing the same dress.
Because he bought both of them.
Because he bought both of them the same dress at the same time.
That's a mistake.
Yo, he was like, "Oh, this would be perfect for both of these women. I'm gonna just ring both of these up, and then I'll give them to each one individually." Nah, yo, what are you doing, yo?
Yeah, you fucked up. Do you buy dresses for your wife?
No, I don't know my wife's. My wife has a certain style. Last time I bought her something to wear, it was a poncho, like a sweater poncho, right?
Something very generic.
Something very generic, right?
Yeah, that's how I shop for my wife when it comes to clothes.
She likes purple, and I got her a poncho to kind of keep her warm and to hide her belly, right?
Right.
She's never worn it. She's never worn it. I bought it for our anniversary.
That's really funny. She's never worn it.
I bought it for our anniversary. Our anniversary was the end of October. We are recording this in the beginning of December. She's never worn it. She's never worn it. She's never going to wear it. I don't even know where the fucking thing is.
Oh, she sold that.
She probably did.
She was like,
I don't know where it is.
She's like, this is cute.
And it was for our anniversary. I felt so bad because I'm like, oh shit, I don't have anything to give her. Let me run down to this, store and get her something, right? She don't even wear it. All right, yo.
I stick to. I mean, I buy my wife other things, but when it comes to clothes, I stick to like scarves.
Yeah, just a bunch of accessories.
Because I don't know. My wife dresses like like she has style, but she's also an artist. So it goes from like, oh, that was really stylish, and she knows like high end designer type shit, which I'm like, yo, this is way too expensive. I'm not buying that. Fuck out of here.
Right.
To just the most wackadoo shit, and I'm like.
Here's a sweater made of styrofoam peanuts.
Yeah, I'm like, what the fuck? I don't know what to wear. She does not actually have that. She's just making it.
I know. I'm just being.
Because someone's like, oh, what? I think Jay's wife's crazy. But no, I don't know. I have no idea. Like she has clothes, and I'm like, you just gonna wear that? Like, I don't get it. I don't get it. So yeah, I don't. Yeah, guys who buy their wives like dresses and shit. I'm like, yeah, I would never do that.
Shit. I don't do that shit.
Seems like a waste of money. It's like buying a podcast.
That's gambling.
Yeah, it's gambling. Right? Exactly.
And I lost.
yeah, you did. Yeah. So did she. She
lost fucking $100 for that shit, man. God damn it.
She was like, the Salvation Army's going to love it.
Right. I could have bought a video game, God damn it.
You could have bought two.
So Giant warns Bleek, like, look, both of the women that you fucking are in the building tonight, and they wearing the same goddamn thing.
Yeah, his story too was funny. He was like, I told you not to buy them the same dress.
He was like, remember we made that bet? Yeah. He was like, well, give me $50.
I told you.
You just lost, nigga. Bleek goes to each girl, and, he tries to smooth things over. And they're like, nigga, fuck you, yo. Like, I see her. She's the only other woman wearing the exact same red dress, bruh.
Yeah.
In this dark ass, club.
Right. They stand out like a beacon.
Right. Shadow goes over and fucking looms over Clarke and is like, I'm trying to, start my own band, and I want you to be, I want you to headline it. I want you to be my singer, and fuck Bleek. What you see in Bleek, man? Like you gotta respect yourself. You gotta respect yourself and let me fuck you.
Yeah, basically is what he was saying.
Right. So, later on we see Shadow in the back, and Bleek comes over to him and he's like, look, last time I was fucking Clarke, I didn't see my name nowhere on her. If you try and get at her, go ahead and get at her. Don't nobody own nobody.
Yeah, you're talking a lot of bullshit.
Yeah, you're talking a lot of bullshit. Yeah. You're talking a lot of bullshit. Not many people can handle just sex with no emotion.
Men or women. That is a lie that men tell themselves.
Right. Like, fuck that bitch, yo. Fuck
until you see her walking down the street with some dude, you like, nah, I gotta fuck that nigga. Like,
right.
Yeah.
What if that happens in this movie?
There you go.
We cut to a scene that's shot really well. So apparently smoothing things over worked. And Bleek goes, and we see Bleek making love to both Clarke and Indigo.
Did he fuck both of them in the same night?
I don't know.
And that's kind of amazing, right?
That is kind of amazing.
I mean, like, shout out to Bleek Gilliam.
Right.
Like, how do you make that one work?
Right.
Also, like, you need some, like, Mojo Rising? Like,
right,
a little tired, dog?
Jesus Christ. Oh, you like Terrence? Is your refractory period very small?
So that's one of the funniest things he's ever said. My refractory period is small.
But
Give me 15 minutes.
This scene is very good, and it's shot very well because, just like we are confused as to, if he had sex with both of these women at the same time, he is confused, and it's
because he's shutting out the world to his music again.
Right. And it's a really, really beautiful scene, man.
And he mistakenly calls each of them the wrong name.
Right.
That is not good.
And, you hear it, but I urge you to go seek this movie out. And this is one of the best shot scenes in the movie for me.
This is Spike Lee. Like, Spike Lee is in his zone.
Yeah.
Right? Because this is where he does so well.
Yeah.
Yeah, so they're yelling back and forth. The camera keeps switching from his perspective, or not his perspective. Well, yeah, from his perspective.
It focuses on him, and he's got each of these women talking in his ear, but at the same time,
yelling at him.
Right, yeah, they're yelling at him. And every time he looks over at the other woman, like if Denzel if Bleek is being yelled at by Clarke, he looks over at Indigo. Clarke thinks he's just spacing out, right? And vice versa. And they're like, "Look at me." And it's hard to explain, but it's a really good scene. And at the end of it, he goes back to what he knows, and his one true love is that trumpet.
Yeah,
and that is what he is concerned with. Yeah. So he picks up his trumpet and is like, "Look, if you can't hang, then get to stepping."
Yeah,
and he says that to both women, and both women are like, "Well, fuck you."
Yeah,
and they roll out.
Yeah, which that's unfortunate.
That is unfortunate for him.
Yeah, and then Clarke is like, "Look, I got to get out of here. I've got HBCU I need to be at somewhere."
Bleek and Giant go for a bike ride, and Bleek insists that Giant do a better job at managing.
This scene of the bike ride, is very humorous to me because this is just a scene of Spike Lee and Denzel Washington hanging out on a Saturday. Like, this is not them acting. Like, they're not acting. Like, Spike Lee is trying so hard to not laugh during this whole scene because it's just the two of them goofing around on bikes.
Yeah.
Like, I'm just surprised there was even a camera there. Like, it's just them on, like, they're not even dressed like they normally dress in the movie. Like, you know what I mean? Like, they're just dressed like Denzel Washington's like, "Nah, I like to do a little bike ride on Saturday mornings." Like, no big deal. It's just kind of funny.
Giant promises to be a better manager and then asks Bleek for a loan to pay down his gambling debts. Nigga, fuck you. Yeah.
Get out of my face.
Bleek declines. They separate. They go their separate ways, and all of a sudden, a loan shark played by Sam Jackson and some other nigga, they break Giant's fingers.
Yeah, that scene was fucked up because the guy broke his own finger.
Yeah,
to like, I don't know, just show how tough he was or whatever.
I guess.
And then they just proceeded to beat the brakes off of Spike Lee.
Yeah, they did.
Sam Jackson was just kind of a scary dude, like back in the 90s.
Yeah, because one, he looks ugly, right? And two, he's very tall and menacing looking, and then he's got that voice, man.
Yeah,
like Sam Jackson in the 90s looks like an old nigga from the 70s.
He does. Well, that's because he was.
Right.
Yeah. Like he looks like he's like 55 years old at this point.
That's what I'm saying. Like him, the way he looks in that scene in 1990 looks like how he should look 20 years ago.
Yes. Like
he's a scary looking dude, man. Yeah. He looked like somebody mean ass father.
He does. Yeah, like don't fuck with Sam Jackson, dude. His career is a really fascinating one too, because like this guy was on like
he was a crackhead.
He was a crackhead. Like he wasn't really acting in Jungle Fever. Like I was not acting. Like he was like, "Nah, I know, I got this one. I don't need notes. I know how to be a crackhead." But yeah, like so he, his career has gone a long way, and he attributes a lot of that to his wife.
Yeah,
like she saved him.
Yeah,
I mean, look, man, find you a good person who cares about you.
That's it. Later, Giant tells Bleek that he injured himself, and Bleek doesn't believe him. Giant was like, "Yeah, I hit a pothole running home, and it broke my 2 fingers in the middle of my hand." Nah. No,
it didn't.
Giant goes around and asks the other band members for $500, and all the smart ones are like, no. And the one that's dating the white woman is like, here you go.
Yeah, come on, man. You're not helping interracial couples at all. You're making us look dumb. So that's a respect for yourself.
So at this like get together, this little party or whatever, this is a very interesting conversation. A very drunk Bleek and a very drunk Shadow argue about the type of people coming to listen to music, right? And Bleek is rambling about how, whenever we play these shows, we don't see no black people out there. All we see is these white people, these Asian people, and all that. Like,
which, by the way, is super ironic for the end of the movie.
Right. What, we don't support our own, and
right.
And what's up with this? And Shadow takes it as, well, that's just because you're not playing what people want to hear. If you play what people want to hear, then the people will come. And what do you make of this scene?
One, this is another scene of them not acting. This is like, I feel like Wesley Snipes and Denzel Washington got drunk and then they just yelling in a club somewhere in fucking New York, right? And Spike Lee was like, I have a camera. It is so quintessential, those two actors though, like in their best roles, like you see that like their personality kind of come out. Like what shocked me, by the way, before I get into the scene too much, is how have they never been in anything else together?
They have?
I don't think so. Because goddamn, do they play well off each other?
Yeah, they do.
They really do. And it's funny because I would have thought they would be in more movies, especially at this time, because they were both kind of seen as black sex symbols, right? Like I could see them having more conflicting sort of roles. And,
can't you see this like a super 90s version of early 90s version of Bad Boys with those two?
Yeah. I could. Yeah. I would have definitely seen an action movie with Denzel Washington and Wesley Snipes in it.
Yeah. That
would be one of those like, yo, this is like, it's one of the movies that everybody talks about, like still. Because they are so good together in this movie. Yeah. But also, it would be kind of interesting to see them as older men do a movie playing off each other.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Because their careers have kind of gone in different ways. That could be a way to get Spike back or get Wesley Snipes back in the mainstream. Yeah. If he's in a movie with Denzel Washington. And I think he can still do it.
Yeah, I would like to see, now that you mention it, I really would like to see like some strong character piece. Because look, everybody remembers Wesley Snipes for his martial arts and shit. Wesley Snipes can act. Like, he's a solid ass actor.
And not just Nino Brown. Like,
right.
This movie, he's doing a very good job, by the way.
Yeah. He is a solid ass actor, man, and he doesn't get credit for his acting ability. He only gets credit for like Art of War and Blade and Passenger 57. All the badass shit, right?
Art of War. Do people like that movie?
I don't know. I've never seen it. It's one of the few Spike Lee action movies I've never seen.
Wait, whoa.
I'm not Spike Lee.
Wait, what?
Wesley Snipes action movies.
Yeah, it's fine. Did you see Gallo Walkers?
No. Maybe I'm part of the problem of why he's not coming back. Because I ain't wasting my time with that shit.
I think it's on Netflix. No. That'll help his career for you to see Gallo Walkers. But yeah, he was a good actor. Like, and he probably still is. I feel like he's got some pain, right?
Yeah.
Like dealing with the bullshit he's had to deal with over the last couple of years. I wouldn't mind seeing him and Denzel Washington chop it up. That would be cool. But it was good to see them together. But so this scene, right? The thing with this scene is they're both right, which is what makes these characters compelling, right? Which is this idea of you do have to play what gets black people there, right? Like they're not going to want to listen to like this more old school jazz. Maybe you want to play something that's a little bit more like acid jazzy or like a little more modern. But at the same time, Denzel is right. Like you and I have seen this. Like as you get older as a black man, you are destined to listen to jazz music at some point. Yeah. When you like, all right, all this hippity hop rap and shit, I get it. Sometimes I just want to listen to something quiet. I want to listen to Miles Davis around the house. I often do, right? Like, so you get pulled back into these classic styles of music. So why should they just go for the young, quick, fast thing? Because these other things are fundamental, right? Like, so they're both correct, but at the same time, maybe you have to use the newer stuff to attract people to get into jazz and then bring them into the old school. So like, yeah, they're both correct. Really.
That's what artists do when you go to a concert or something, and most people want everybody to play the hits, play the songs. That
play Freebird,
right? And the artist is up there and they want to play, here's something new I've been working on. And right, exactly. Everybody does that because they're like, I don't know this. So
Right? I don't want to experience anything new. Like, what the fuck, man? Yeah, but like, I mean, like I
think the metaphor can extend to
far past
things
music
as well. You know, like we try our best to provide a good product that people want to hear,
right?
But
Or watch,
but you know, at the same time, like you had an idea for a movie to review,
right?
and I shot it down just because. Honestly, I don't know how it would go over.
Right. But your point wasn't bad.
Right. And I'm not, you know, it was a good idea and I get the spirit of it, but you know, it's just, I don't know. It's very odd. It's another one of those plight of the artist things, I guess.
Yeah, we're very tortured souls here.
Yeah.
But I mean, yeah, you try to bring, like, we try to do a good mix of older films and newer films, right? Because you want some of the older films to bring people in and go, oh yeah, let's talk about that. But then you want to try to experiment and go out for some of these newer films that we're all experiencing.
Yeah, we are going to experience a film in 2 weeks. So
some of you have been asking for it.
Yeah. Jesus Christ.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, it makes they're both correct ultimately.
So we see that Giant can't go home because the bookie and loan sharks are staking his place out, right? You know, he's essentially being hunted. Let's fast forward a little bit to Bleek really missing his two girlfriends.
This poor son of a bitch.
Right. So he calls Indigo and leaves her a message and is like, hey girl, not even like I miss you. Like he does that nigga shit where it's just like, hey girl, you know, I've been thinking about you, so you know, you call me when you get a chance.
When you ready.
I'm not right when you ready. I'm not apologizing or nothing. Matter of fact, I probably shouldn't even said the word apologize because I don't want you to think that I'm apologizing because I'm not apologizing at all because I wasn't in the wrong. You know, that's how it came off to me, right? Like,
100%.
Bitch, you crazy, but I'm willing to take you back.
Right, exactly. When you get your shit together.
Right. When you realize that I just made a mistake and it's your fault for flying off the handle when I gave you that ultimatum.
Right. With a trumpet.
Right. And then he calls Clarke. And we cut to Clarke getting dicked down by Shadow, who was just body rolling the shit out of him.
Yeah, I'm like, like, is Wesley Snipes like, is he really fucking this woman? Because, like, again, Wesley Snipes, a man dedicated to his craft.
Right. He was like, no, we're going to do this method. Right.
She's like, you don't have to. He's like, nah, but we have to.
And this is weird, right? Like, he's fucking this woman, right? And Clark's answering machine comes on. And for you young people, an answering machine is what people used before cell phones, right?
It's like a loud voicemail.
It's like a loud voicemail that everyone can hear, but it's a separate machine. And so he calls Clarke. He starts talking. Clarke immediately, while in mid-stroke, immediately turns around and is like, oh, it's Denzel. And then she reaches for the answering machine because she wants to pick the phone up. And you know, Shadow is like, Shadow says the creepiest shit ever, right? He's like, nah, I want to hear what he got to say.
Yeah, like while he's like body rolling.
While I'm inside you. Like, what the fuck? Like, nah, yo, you want to hear another man's voice while you blowing this woman back
I'm just
out?
like, wah, 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 wah. Like, nah, yo. Like, concentrate.
Yeah, yo. And he's like, see, he only wants you for when he can have you. Whereas me, I got you right now.
Right. Like, I didn't understand his point. I'm like,
Right.
yeah, he wants you when he wants you. Yeah, that's exactly how sex works.
Yeah, yo. Like,
Yeah, what are you talking about?
but then he makes a bunch of promises and shit, and Clarke is like, I don't believe nothing no man say. And he was like, well, that's the thing with guys. Like, half the time they lying, and half the time they telling the truth. She's like, well, which one are you? He's like, I'm half. Half of what? Like,
Half
what?
of bullshit. Like, half
Right.
of bullshit.
Get the fuck out of here, yo. So then we see Bleek on one of them New York bridges.
Yeah, just playing sadly. Yeah, it's a Charlie Brown music. It was pretty much that, by the way. Like, it really wasn't that different.
Later on, we see Bleek and Giant at the club, and Bleek is talking to Giant. Giant is like, "Look, I heard that Clarke is Shadow's banging Clarke." And he didn't say it. He did that weird Spike Lee thing like this. And this is not the only movie that he's done this in, where he takes his arm and just punches it. Like,
Yeah,
that means sex, right?
Yeah, he's fucking
sex.
Yeah, that's an old thing.
Just say it, yo. Like,
But it's funny because, again, Spike Lee is this close to laughing because he's like, like he like keeps making the fist jabbing motion.
So Bleek goes in, he's in the back. Shadow comes up and is like, look, man, we really got to talk about money because I'm not doing another set without this. And Bleek is just like, shut the fuck up, yo. And they get into an argument because lo and behold, when you stick your penis in a woman, you develop feelings. I don't know what it is.
Yeah, I don't yeah, sure, a one night stand, sure, but you can't continue on.
You can't keep doing that.
Week after week, every other day. Somebody, nah, yo, I don't. Oh, men aren't built like that. Yeah, they are.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah, they are. Like,
They are.
Yeah, like, come on. Like, it's a weird thing that people tell each other. Like, oh no, men don't have to get attached. Like, yeah, if they're fucking you once or twice, but sure, but all the time.
Yeah.
Now you're gonna get jealous, and look, jealousy is just a part of being a human being.
So Bleek fires Shadow, and they get into a big fight, right? Bleek fires Shadow. All of a sudden, we cut to Giant in the going to the bathroom, and the loan sharks were waiting in the stalls like a couple of creeps.
Yeah,
and they proceed to beat the shit out of Giant. First, they drag him out through the club, and Giant is yelling for help to Bleek, and Bleek is just like he just continues playing. I think he even notices it, right?
no, he definitely notices it. He just is in the middle of the set.
And nah, yo, you can put your trumpet down, yo. Like,
Yeah.
this is again, he is so focused on his work that his relationships are suffering, right? Like, you see your best friend from childhood getting dragged out by somebody's old 70s dad, and this motherfucker with the broken fingers and shit. Like, nah, yo, you put your trumpet down, yo. Like,
Fucking proto sticky fingers over there.
right. Like, you put your trumpet down and you go help your boy, yo. Yeah. But Sam Jackson and Shades proceed to beat the shit out of
Black Shades.
Yeah, they proceed to beat the dog shit out of
yeah, Giant is getting his ass whooped in all kinds of ways. God damn. And they're just laughing.
Yeah, like, all right.
Somebody's dad is just, yo, they kicked Spike Lee in the dick. Like, that's fucked up.
The music is getting real tense, and you know, as the guys are playing their set, and after the set is over, Bleek runs out and is like, what's going on? What did you do? Right? And Sam Jackson and Prototype Sticky Fingers are all, you know, they talking shit. Bleek swings at one of them.
Mistake.
And he proceeds to get his shit kicked in, right? At one point, Bleek blocks a punch with the trumpet, and Sam Jackson was like, oh, really? You give me that goddamn trumpet.
Yeah.
And he proceeds to trumpet whip
This ass whooping was pretty bad.
It was pretty bad, and he blew open Bleek's lips. Like Bleek has irreparable damage to his lips. The things that he makes his living with.
Yep.
The rest of the band comes out led by Shadow. Because when you're friends, like, all that bullshit is set aside.
Set aside, yeah.
Like, what the fuck just happened, yo?
Yet Wesley Snipes did not go all Passenger 57 on him, which it was a shame.
Yeah, it was very. That was
he should have just been like, just started taking him down.
And I think this was the scene where the Anti-Defamation League was like, all right, guys, come on, like, because the two Jewish owners come out and they're like, well, can you still play? I mean, can you get back in there and play and
make some money,
or something? And
it's just like there's something about just a ridiculous stereotype about whomever that I find amusing. Like, all right, come on, guys. People have more than one dimension. Like, it's just ridiculous to me. No, I don't appreciate it. Like, hypocritically, I don't appreciate it when it happens to black people. Because nobody likes it when it happens to their own people. But at the same time,
this shit is funny, yo.
Fucking funny,
this shit is funny, yo.
Like, it is.
You trying to tell me that you don't like making fun of white people cooking? Like,
yeah, of course.
Because they stereotypically they can't cook, putting raisins in potato salad and shit. Like,
Right,
get the fuck out of here.
Exactly.
Susan, Karen, Ashley, Amber. Like, come on, yo. You don't appreciate doing that shit. Like, I don't want to.
Aubrey. So, yeah, it's just, I just thought that was funny. They're just like, they're just massive stereotypes.
And so skipping ahead a little bit, what's his name's in the hospital? His dad is there. And
My dad came to visit him.
Your dad came to visit him, and
look, nigga,
we see Bleek really kind of struggling.
Yo, he looks like Roman J. Israel. like he basically, this is young Roman J. Israel at this point. Sitting around, listening to old records, kind of dirty. Mm-hmm. A dork.
About a year later, Bleek reunites with Giant. Giant is now a doorman at a club. He says he's stopped gambling. I don't believe it.
There's something that happens at the end, and I'll see if you noticed it too.
Yeah,
that tells me he probably didn't.
So he drops in to see Shadow and Clarke, who are now performing with the rest of the band that Bleek used to be in, and this is where we see Clarke really looking so much like a bird.
Yo, it looks like, you know that image where it's Nicolas Cage with the bird on his head? She looks like that, dude. She does. Who styled her hair, man? Come on now.
Oh, shit.
Damn. It's a goddamn shame. She's a pretty girl, but that haircut is awful.
Yeah. Bleek still has the scars on his lips, and Shadow sees him, and Shadow is like, hey, everybody, here's a very accomplished musician coming in, and we want to welcome him in. This is my friend, Bleek Gilliam. And, Bleek Gilliam was a big deal. Everybody remembered, like, oh, Bleek Gilliam. All right. And then Bleek gets up there, and he tries to play, but his lips are scarred and swollen, and he can't play like he used to play. And Shadow comes in, kind of helps him out to drown out the like to drown all that shit out. With a saxophone.
Yo, it was pretty bad. I was like, oh, this is a scene that they got Denzel Washington to actually play the trumpet and not to pretend to play the trumpet.
And yeah, and Bleek just walks off stage.
Pretty embarrassed.
He was embarrassed, and he gives his trumpet to Giant, and that's when Giant was like, "I'm not gonna sell it. I'm not.
Yeah, you're not.
I'm not gonna sell it."
I'm like, just like you're not selling this scene very well. Like, Oh, Spike, you're not an actor. It's fine. You're a great director, but you're not an actor.
Nah, not at all, man.
God love you.
So Bleek goes to meet with Indigo, and
I'm very interested to hear your opinion of this scenario.
so they meet up and they talk, and she's pissed with him because he hadn't contacted her in over a year. And she tries to reject him, but he is very persistent and is like, no, I need you to save my life, and apparently she accepts him.
Yeah,
because she always
much like most black women in 1990, they accept Denzel Washington, no matter his faults. It's fine. What did you think about that? Because it's clear that he chooses her because he has no other options.
Is it that he chooses her because he has no other options, or that he finally had his epiphany and came to his realization?
You think he would have came to that same realization if Shadow wasn't with Clarke? If she was also available?
I don't know. It's very difficult for me because at the beginning of the movie, we first see him and Indigo together, and I feel like there was like a strong connection there. And
There was more there, you think?
I always felt that there was a stronger connection between Indigo and Bleek than Clarke and Bleek. I think Bleek was just like, look, Clarke is fine, and I kind of want to smash, right?
Yeah.
But
I agree with you. I felt like the movie didn't do a super good job of really kind of establishing that.
yeah, and
Like
look,
you kind of get inklings of it, but I wanted to really be like maybe him sitting there and thinking about it a little bit or saying something.
right, and look, maybe I'm bringing too much of my own personal issues with this. This was a situation that happened with my now wife. Like, we dated for a while, and then I said, look, I can't do this right now. And we eventually, and then I came back and I begged and then, baby, please, baby, please take me back. And eventually she did.
Fool.
But
She's so much smarter than that.
it most certainly wasn't because I had nothing else going for me.
Yeah, that's true.
It's because, I realized, shit, I fucked up.
Right. Now,
So-
I think it's a little different situation because this, at least in the timeline and in the way that the movie is presented, he goes after her after seeing Clarke with Shadow, after seeing Shadow has moved on with the band, like after he realizes he can't play and everything.
Where he literally has nothing left.
Yeah, he hits rock bottom. So I don't know if that's meant to be that or if that's just the way the timeline worked, that it appears that way when it's not really that way, right?
Right.
So, and like he immediately is like, I want a son and all this other stuff, which to me just screamed, I need something to someone to live vicariously through and do all the things I didn't do. And
that was weird, right? Like, I want you to give me a son, and this, like,
slow down.
Calm down, yo.
Like, you just got back with this woman. This is the
first time I'm seeing this woman in over a year.
Right. Like,
what the fuck?
Did you think about all of that, back then? Like,
Right.
That's just kind of weird. So I just thought that was curious.
So they get back together, and we see a montage of their wedding, the birth of their son. At the wedding, Giant has a broken arm.
Yeah, so that's...
Nigga, come on.
Yeah.
You ain't stopped gambling, nothing.
Yeah, exactly. And that's exactly why I said I don't think he has.
The man who gives away Indigo is, in fact, Joy Lee's actual father, Bill Lee.
Oh, interesting.
That
So
is
that's
the
Spike
father
Lee.
of Spike Lee and Joey.
I think it's like Jolie or something like that, but whatever.
Yeah, whatever. He is the one who gives her away.
And even Clarke is there because she's there with Shadow.
Yeah,
because they're actually dating.
Yeah, everybody's all good. We see the birth of their son, and when I say we see the birth of their son, Nigga, we see the birth of their son.
Yeah, I was like, okay. I don't know that I needed to see the Miracle of Birth.
Need to see that. I did not need to see that at all.
I've seen the Miracle of Birth before. It's gross.
I got to be prepared for shit like that, yo. Like, you got to prepare me for some shit like that. And that ain't... Nah, I wasn't prepared for it.
Right. And look, the Miracle of Birth is
beautiful.
Is it?
The end result. The ends justify the means.
Yes, I would argue that is a far more accurate thing. And that's fine. I'm not someone, I can't see a vagina. Like, yeah, like whatever. I just prefer to not have a fucking ham coming through it. It's just, okay, it's fine. I was just not expecting that.
I was not expecting that at all.
Yeah.
But it is what it is. We see Bleek teaching his son how to play the trumpet, and in the final scene, the son, whose name is Miles, obviously named after Miles Morales.
Clearly. Huge Spider-Man fan.
Is 10 years old. He wants to go outside and play with the local boys who in a very Spike Lee fashion are played by the same kids from the beginning of the movie.
Mm-hmm. Also, I like that when they cut to these kids, everyone is super brightly colored because it's the 90s.
Yeah.
Like everyone's just like fuchsia colors. That's great.
This scene bookends the original scene where Miles is playing the trumpet. His dad, who looks the spitting image of Nate Parker in this scene.
Yo, he super does. Holy shit. I mean, we had talked about previously him kind of being the Denzel Washington, and then you fucked that up.
And then you fucked it up.
You ain't redeeming yourself.
And you never heard from him again.
Yeah, you ain't coming out of that hole, dog. Like, nah, rape, nope.
And you know what? You don't need to come back from
No, I'm okay with it.
Yeah, I'm fine with that. Tax evasion, you can come back from. Gang rape, nah, yo.
I'm sorry.
And we ain't doing that movie.
Nope, not ever. Yeah, he really does look like
he looks just like him, yo.
That's kind of crazy.
So it's a similar scene to the first scene, right? The little boy wants to go out, but mom is like, "No, you got to play a trumpet." And in this case, dad is like, "You know what? Go head out, go have fun."
Yeah,
because I don't want you to end up like me.
Right. Now, okay, so here's the thing that's kind of interesting. When Denzel Washington is a kid, before we end the episode, when Denzel Washington is a kid, I'm pretty sure his son is played by the same character who plays him as a little kid.
I think so.
Yeah, I think it is. But one thing we see is when Denzel Washington is grown up, his mom is not around. And I wonder if that is to imply because he doesn't have a relationship with a woman as an adult, he didn't know how to treat women very well and show them as a sort of a priority. Now, obviously, we don't know what's going to happen to Indigo, but you'd like to think that Indigo does stay around and has a major effect on Miles and his interaction with women.
Yeah.
Thus changing the cycle of life, right?
Yeah.
Even though Miles may grow up to be an artist, but he would actually be just a little bit better than the generation before him.
Yeah, and that's all you really want from people and their kids, right?
Yeah,
you just want them to be just that much better than what you were. You don't have to, aim for the stars.
I mean, if you hit the stars, cool, but
right.
chances are you won't.
Right, like. Just don't be like you're trifling at. That's all look, my goal as a dad is to, well, I have many goals, but one of the primary goals is to have him be better than what I was, whatever that means. But the more important one that I hold in much higher esteem is that I really will try my level best to not raise my son to be like Tyreek from Power, because fuck that kid. Fuck him forever.
I will say this. There are going to be rare moments where I am a very honest a nice person to you, because that's just not my thing. That's not our friendship. Our friendship is about giving each other a hard time.
Right.
But I will say this, as I, await the arrival of young Micah Jr. or whatever his name will be. Not Micah Jr.
No, certainly.
Certainly not. I will say this, and I've thought about this and how I was going to say this to you. If he, this is a rare moment for me, so soak it up, right?
All right.
Because everything coming after this is going to be that much worse. I will say this: if he turns out to be half the person, half the man that I've seen you become, he'll be just fine. Because I think you're a great guy.
I will take it.
Yeah.
That Jay worships the ground I walk on.
Wow. Okay. And end of episode. See, can't be nice to you can't be your own people.
Can't give niggas nothing.
You can't give them nothing.
Give a nigga an inch, he will take 4 miles.
Yeah, it's like, oh, really? Can I get that clipped out on the show? No. All right, that's it for episode 142, Mo Better Blues. We did thoroughly enjoy it. I thought it was very good.
This was a very good movie. People have been asking us to do it, and sorry we took so long. It was really good, man.
Yeah, absolutely. And we will see you guys back for a preview episode for episode 143 next week.
See ya.
Bye. You're watching the Black on Black Cinema YouTube channel. Make sure you check out our full reviews of black movies, past and present. And every other week, we do a preview episode where we talk about a random topic that affects the black community.